It all started with a milk cow. In the spring of 1948, a man named William Turner stole a milk cow from a pasture in Meriwether County, a bit of cattle rustling that cost the uneducated sharecropper his life. The cow belonged to John Wallace, a bald, barrel-chested bootlegger respected and feared in his community, including Meriwether County lawmen. Sheriff Hardy Collier arrested and jailed the cow thief Turner, but John Wallace wanted him dead.
John Wallace was a law unto himself in Meriwether County in 1948. If he figured a man needed killing, that was reason enough.
Margaret Ann Barnes covered the story for the Noonan newspaper 50 years ago.
And it was sanctioned by the sheriff. I mean, there was no question. If he wanted it done, it got done.
Turner was arrested for stealing the cow and held for nearly 2 days here in the old Meriwether County Jail, denied the opportunity to make a phone call to contact his family or to try to hire a lawyer. And while Turner was here in jail, John Wallace was hatching a plan to have him killed. When the clock at the courthouse struck noon on April 20th, 1948, Sheriff Collier dropped the cattle theft charge against Turner and released him from the jail. When Turner walked out of the building, Wallace and some of his friends were out here in the street waiting for him. So Wallace and his buddies
chased Turner, and Wallace was shooting at him all the way because he didn't want him to get across the county line into Coweta County.
Wallace and his boys chased Turner's pickup truck up Highway 27, trying to run him off the road. After Turner crossed the county line, he pulled over at a roadside restaurant and ran for help. There were 8 witnesses as John Wallace pulled up and crushed Turner's skull with the butt end of a shotgun, then loaded his body into the car and drove back to Meriwether County.
He figured he could take him back to Meriwether County and dump the body, and the Sheriff Potts couldn't find it.
The witnesses phoned Lamar Potts, the respected sheriff of Coweta County. Unlike the Meriwether County sheriff, Potts had no ties to Wallace. Based on the witnesses' accounts and despite warnings of reprisals, Potts personally arrested Wallace and his accomplices, but not before Wallace wickedly disposed of the dead man's body. Wallace's family owned 2,000 acres of property in Meriwether County, an area that locals called the Kingdom. With the help of 2 loyal sharecroppers, Wallace found a spot deep in the woods near his home, lit a bonfire fueled with gasoline, and used it to burn up William Turner's body. How badly did Potts need to find a body in order to make a case?
Well, he had to find. It was where you either had to find a ring or bridge work or the body or some portion of it.
Or you can't go to trial?
Yeah, or you couldn't go to trial because corpus delicti was necessary.
Potts and a posse of volunteers combed the woods near Wallace's home. 12 days after the killing, an agent named Elsie Hancock found charred bits of bone and teeth in a stream near the site of the bonfire. The remains of William Turner filled only a tiny matchbox, but it was enough to make a case against John Wallace. The trial was a sensation, filling the courtroom and its balcony in Noonan. The defendant still confident a jury wouldn't convict him. But key witnesses testified against him, including the owner of the restaurant where Wallace killed Turner, and the 2 black sharecroppers who helped destroy the body. Wallace was convicted and sentenced to death, and Sheriff Lamar Potts became a legend in his own time.
This was a man that was just very courageous. He really believed in even-handed justice. This was what was so wonderful.
John Wallace, too, remains an infamous figure. Even today, John Wallace Road runs through the family property in Meriwether County called the Kingdom. Though green paint now conceals the first name, this may be the only road in America named for a man executed for murder.